right, everyone, welcome back to day 2 of the Fortnite World Cup Duos qualifiers. I'm Golden Boy, and I'm joined by a great crew of individuals. We got Courage, we got Zeke, we got Sunda, we got Dr. Lupo. We have so many great people here, and we are so glad that you're with us here today. So, what's going on? What are we doing here? Well, if you're living under a rock, well, this is the Fortnite World Cup where we're determining who are going to be the players that will be joining us in New York City for the, hey, New York, by the way, for the big event. It's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be incredible. $30 million up for grabs. It's unbelievable stuff here. But let's just run through it first. Let's go all the way to the top because we had a few matches that already took place in Oceania and Asia. We know who are those players that are going to be joining us in New York City. We're going to be checking out some European NA East and NA West matches, but don't worry because we're going to be looking at all the action, winning moments across the regions throughout the broadcast. And how does this whole thing work? Top 15 will get 3 points. Top 10 will then have 5 points. Top 5 will get 7 points. But the highest total you can possibly get, Victory Royale, 10 points. Each elimination is going to be 1 point as well. We'll have some fun stuff to talk about that in just a little bit. But the players are playing for a sizable amount of prize money. We referenced it yesterday. It's absurd. $1 million across all of the regions. So much up for grabs. Not only the prize money, but the qualifying spots. This is what it's all about, folks. Today is the day that we determine the first set of duos that are going to be in New York City with us for the Fortnite World Cup final. Oceania, Asia, Brazil, and NA West all get 1 spot, whereas Europe gets 4 spots, NA East gets 3 spots. And there is, and here's the thing, we've actually determined who these players are already that will be joining us in the Oceania and Asia region. So to break that down with us, we actually have Sundown standing by. Sundown, we already know who are going to be going to New York City. It's exciting stuff. Some good players as well. And based off of yesterday's closing, you were right.
I definitely wasn't wrong.
You definitely weren't wrong.
And it was just, I stayed up all night just because I had a little hankering. I wanted to make sure. And it was, Oceania was nuts. It was an incredible competition. The top 3 spots coming so close to each other. So let's take a look at the standings. And no, I'm just going to let you know this was actually the incorrect results. These are not the ones that went through. Those are yesterday's results. So we will get the correct ones up there. But it did end up being Twiz and Cover H coming out and taking that top spot away. Now, it was a single qualifier spot, and they went off in order to get it. Like, it was an incredible performance going through, and it really was kind of a 3-way race between them, the Jam Boys, and then another one of the Chiefs player just underneath them.
Wow.
And they're driving through the entire time and going into it, and hopefully we'll be able to take a look at some of the stats of those players up on the board in just a little bit, because it really was an incredible competition going through. And again, you were talking about it. It's all about that singular spot. So here we go. We'll get that up there. So you have Cover H and Twiz right here in the number 1 spot. You have Radius from Chiefs, and then Jordy X3, who actually streamed the entire thing.
Wow, and that is impressive. So, okay, let's take a second here to break this down, folks. Why is this so significant? Because you wanted to bring this up for a particular reason, Sundown.
So just in terms of the very top end, when there is only that 1 spot on the line, I know there's been a lot of comments about it being elimination heavy or placements not being worth so much. You can see number 1 spot right here, 54 points in eliminations, 44 points on placement, 55-44 split, 58-42 percentage here, 93 points, 58%, 42. So still inside that 60-40 range we were talking about in order to reach success. But you notice the pair who is able to have the more balanced game, played only the 8 matches, had the 3 victory rounds in what is typically known as a more elimination heavy region. They're able to take it home, no problem with that balanced approach. I mean, it was just really impressive.
Yeah, that to me, I think is the part that sticks out the most. And here are actually the tweets, the winner moments from our 2 players, Cover H and MF Twiz. And I also, by the way, let's got to give some love to Twiz. Just throwing it out there, man. Here it is. Make sure you go check him out. Check out his video when it's online.
It's really good. It's up now because like he stayed up all night. Like, he was going through right afterward, immediately, as soon as it was done, boom, popped the stream up. Was unreal that they had qualified through. Like I said, I was going there, wanted to double check in. Just the fact that it was so close at the top there, 111, 109, 107 going through. I mean, a 4-point difference, particularly, like we've said, in a region where they're known for having a little more elimination heavy, to have that quality of a split and then being able to take home the top spot with that many other players. And like I said, the Jam Boys right behind them, they were my like pseudo pick right behind Cover H and Twiz. And then another one, like I said, Jordy streamed the entire thing. Highly recommend going back, checking out the rebroadcast, because a lot of really good info in there.
Yeah, well, super cool stuff indeed. And congratulations to Twiz and Cover H. And we actually had we have an opportunity, I shouldn't say we have an opportunity, I believe, to join in with them. They're standing by, waiting for us. We'll see if we can pull them up on the screen here in a little bit. But even then, I was just told we are working on it. There they are. Look at those handsome devils there. Twiz, Cover H, congratulations, fellas. You're going to New York City for the Fortnite World Cup, playing for $30 million. Twiz, we'll start with you because you seem very eager and very excited. How you feeling, brother?
It's 5:30 in the morning here. We've been staying up all night. Like you said, I stayed up doing my video, and we're just so excited, so ecstatic. We've had to remind ourselves over and over again what we actually achieved and what's happened for us, and we're so excited for the World Cup. We can't wait to come over to New York and show everyone what we got.
Yeah, so Cover H, how did this duo come about? What, like, you guys friends like before the World Cup happened, or did you just feel like this was like the best duo to get you to this point? And an even deeper question than that, did you feel like you both had it in the bag, like you were never really worried coming out of the qualifiers?
Well, we like started doing because I actually played with his teammate first.
Okay.
And then yeah, so then I started playing with him, and the chemistry was just there. We just popped off from the beginning. We just played really well together, and then yeah, we just seemed to do really well in the cup. So
yeah, fair. Well,
happy with it,
yeah, and discussing, I guess, yesterday's matches, I don't remember where you guys ended up because there's so many players. I don't remember where you guys ended up exactly. What, second place, right? So Sundown had it with the hand signal. Twiz, I guess, you know, were you guys confident? Were you guys confident going into today that you were going to be able to do this? What were some of the elements that you were a little concerned about, and what was the hump that you guys had to get over to get to this point?
Yeah, for sure. It's a good question. So for our semi-finals day, I think we actually only ended up on about 44 points. We didn't do very well in the semi-finals. Basically, we went over our games again. We went back and we watched them to find out what our biggest problem was. And it was pretty clear that our problem was late game. We were doing a really good job of getting frags early game, mid game, even late game as well. But we had troubles with some of our late game rotations, staying in front of the zone, holding height, because we always go for the high ground. So we went over those mistakes and make sure we played consistently in the end game, and we managed to learn a lot from the semi-finals and bring it all the way back around in the finals and find those consistent late games with the wins and a couple of second places as well.
Wow, that's definitely a glow up indeed. So I apologize for misspeaking earlier. Then that's a huge jump from 44 to 111 there.
Okay,
that's massive. Wow,
you see, you
very
almost had me there, man.
I wasn't that good.
You almost messed me up, dude.
So one thing I do want to call out is we did see how Gubaz had a tweet earlier being like, "Wow, Cover H really good, underrated." And Twiz, you had said also a couple weeks back that you guys were taking some time off from a little bit of your more social and your streaming aspect to really put in the effort for the World Cup. What did that grind and what did that practice look like? And did you feel like kind of taking a moment to self-reflect help you guys out a lot?
Yeah, for sure. So when we started to get into grind time for qualifiers, our main focus was to grind a lot of arena duos to get our team chemistry, our communication, and our fighting skills like really up to where we think they could be. And I decided to take some time away from streaming to really like work on our personal game as opposed to more of an entertainment type point of view, to really like work on our strats and go through over our gameplays and have that kind of time to be able to take it at our own pace so we can improve and work on the things that we need to. And we just like stick to the book. We always go back and look at our mistakes. We take full responsibilities for our mistakes, and we always try and improve from it, always try and move forward.
That's awesome. And just so I know too, it's just the two of you. Are you guys working with an analyst, working with a coach, or is it just the two of you having this conversation?
No, it's just the two of us. That's one of the things that's been really strong about us as a duo, is we're really good at criticizing each other and taking criticisms on board. So whenever we have a game where we could have done better or we didn't quite do as well as we would have liked, we always go back over the game, we record them or we look at the replays, and we always like say, hey, we could have done this better, or I want a little bit more of this out of you, and always trying to like take that on board, be constructive and be positive with each other, and like always pick up our weaknesses.
I cannot stress enough, because me and Sundown both competed for many years, and I can't tell you the amount of times that I would go to my teammates and say, hey, we could do this better, hey, we could do that better, and my teammate just turns around and says, no, you suck, I don't want to listen to you, forget you, I'm going to do my own thing. So for the two of you to have that conversation, it truly is incredible. Final question before, because I know you guys are like dumb tired. Final question is you're now going to get this opportunity to play on an international stage against some of the best players in the world at the Fortnite World Cup in the duos competition. Do you feel like you will be able to stack up against the Titans from NA East, Europe? Like, are you confident? I know this is like a really dumb question, because it's always like, oh, are you confident? How do you feel? But seriously, like Australia, traditionally in esports, they don't get many opportunities to go up against international competition like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a huge moment for you all. I know that we had the Open event in Sydney, I believe. That was a little while ago. I guess that question is like, are you confident that you can take it to the best in the West, in the East, and in Europe?
I mean, you can't say like how good they are, because we know we pay a lot of attention to the international scenes. We know like in the East and West and Europe, like they really bring the heat. They've got some really great competition. They got great players. You know, they really think on their feet. They got awesome thinkers, big comms, big talkers.
Yeah.
And really keen to really get out there and try and take on an international stage. Like we worked really well in like customs or in really stacked with lots of pros. So those kind of like, really heavy late games before we moved into more of the cups and stuff like that. So we have found positives and strengths in there before. So I'm confident we can go back to that kind of style and
awesome.
Like really try to study up and get ourselves up to an international level where I think we can compete.
All right. So final thing, plugs. Cover H, this is your moment, baby. You can share it with the world where people can catch you online. And for you, Twiz, Cover, we'll start with you.
Just Cover H on Twitch, really.
Okay, Cover H on Twitter.
Yeah,
there you go.
Cover H _ on Twitter.
You don't need to put TTV in your name. You're good now. Everyone now knows. Cover H on Twitch.
True.
You're good. Twiz, for you, brother.
Twitch.tv/Twiz. On YouTube as well, I'm Twiz as well. Please go check out my new video, code MF-Twiz. I'll put it all out there. Thanks for this opportunity. It's been great to be on and have a chat with you guys. It's been awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in New York. I'll take you out for a good slice of pizza, give you the good, authentic New York experience. You know what I'm saying, baby? That's what's up.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And congratulations once again. We'll see you both in New York City. All right, so we didn't get a chance to see the results earlier, but we're going to take a gander at them once again. Sundown, like for the whole screen so everyone can see like where they were there. So let's bring up the standings when we get a moment. And there you have it. So Sundown, break this down for me, brother.
There we go. So these are the correct standings with the pricing up there as well. We just talked to Cover H and Twiz. And again, thank you so much. We know it's super early.
Super late. Super early,
super early, like 5:30 in the morning. The first duo pair qualifying through, you had Jamzore and Geese. Just below them in second, Jordy, X3, and Chief Radius in third. Rounding it out, you had Ghost, Zarby, and Trapped, Minikin and Rel, Kaze and Flacco, Gubaz and Slaya in seventh, Jalen and Chief Skyla in eighth, Alikau and Minigov in ninth, and then the X2 twins, Jesse and Jordan, down there in 10th place. So that's a solid top 10, man. That's really, and you can see when those qualifying spots, because Oceania only actually ends up getting 3. They alternate weeks going through, so they do not have a qualifying spot for the next duo round. They'll only end up getting 3 because that's based off of region size and competitive participation. But I mean, like, it's going to get real tough at the top end.
It truly is. It truly is. But it has been incredible to see the Oceania region show everyone why they should be on the world stage, and they're going to get that opportunity to do so. Once again, congratulations to Twiz and Cover H. But now let's go to the next region, which already has their winner, and that is going to be Asia. And Asia, we keep on harping on it. We got to talk about it. They're a competitive region. We know that the skill is certainly going to be there. And who came out on top in the Asian region to take that one spot, Sundown?
So again, it was a battle of that top 3. Breaking it down, and we've talked about them all over the place at times. It was the Top Boys, were in there, the Crazy Raccoon Boys were in there, and then the Meta Boys in as well. So let's take a look at what that standing looked like. And I mean, it was just such, I apologize, it was the GE ones. Meta were just right below it. But I mean, the spread between these three and then the fourth place was massive. But the Crazy Raccoon Boys getting Japan up on the board. Bell and Scarlet going to New York City and qualifying
Japanese
at
players.
First spot. Yep, Japanese players. The Crazy Raccoon players from Japan able to edge out the rest of the competition. I mean, incredibly impressive from there.
Wow, that is super cool and really just impressive. And I also know, too, we'll pull it up in a little bit. We have some stats for this. And once again, so the numbers here are insane. Obviously, 106, 103, 102 points. But look at that breakdown, right? So the blue that you see there, that blue half of the circle, that is going to be placement. The white half of the circle is eliminations. And Sundown, once again, your point stands true that we see this kind of half-half, right? Players who look to play for that placement but look to play for that eliminations. Like you have to have that healthy balance in order to really climb the ladder, if you will.
Yeah, to be at the absolute top, you can't forsake placement points at the kind of at the cost of going for elimination. So you can see here with the other two duos, they were on 10 and 9 matches, but able to get basically the farther end of the spectrum for the spread with 60%, 40%, and then 57.
It still fits within
43.
what you said.
Still
which is
inside
60-40.
the 60-40, and they're in the top 3, so it's not discrediting that. But you'll notice there's a trend towards the people who are winning, the people who are at the very top are getting that much closer to a 50-50 spread. And I think the key part is here, you don't want to invalidate certain types of play styles, right?
True.
If somebody's particularly good at the early and the mid game, they are able to frag out against the best of the best. Because again, when you're playing on Sundays, it's the top 1,500 duos. It is the best in your region, the best in the world. You can't get against better Fortnite players. And if you're dropping those kind of eliminations early but not making the late placements, you should still be able to climb up. But there's no way you're going to get a qualifying spot in New York by just doing one or the other. You have to be able to do both well, as you can see these guys doing here, GB. I mean, it was just incredible. Just all the amount of focus fire, how well they do in close corridors. It's so good.
Never actually seen the character go into the cannon, and I feel like we just got all of that and then some. So that's pretty nice there. But yeah, Bell and Scarlet. And as I had mentioned at the top of the show, folks, we're going to be checking out some of the winning moments for a lot of these players throughout the day. So when we have those breaks, you'll see some of the games from the Asia region, the Brazil region, as well as the Oceania region, and then the other regions that we cover here as well, Sundown.
Yeah, and also highly recommend taking a look at some of the replay files. You can go onto the Fortnite competitive Reddit. They will get posted there. You can check them out. You can go back through, see what the winners do. You want to see what the best of the best are capable of, how they're able to get to New York. And I mean, just tossing it right up there. Bell saying, easy, hi New York.
Best tweet, hands down, easy. Hi New York. Like, easy? It was 106 to 103, brother. Like, hey, right? I respect the hustle. And then Scarlet there. I'm grateful to all the team members and fans who have supported me. I really appreciate it. I will do my best in this game. Once again, congratulations to Scarlet and to Bell. That's cool, man. Japanese players here coming in and competing in New York. That's going to be very, very exciting. That's a region that is known for fighting games, but not necessarily known for a lot of the, like the FPS games. So it's nice to see that players are, like they can hang. They can hang. It's not just the Korean region that's very good or the Chinese region that's very good. Like, hey, the Japanese players, they're climbing that ladder as well, and that's some pretty cool stuff to see, Sundown.
I mean, and we have seen them play internationally before as well, so they're not necessarily completely off the radar. Crazy Raccoons in particular, like anytime I hear a team name that's just like kind of hops out to me, and just right away I can imagine that, like it really vibes with my Fortnite sense. Like, and the way they play, like they look like they're ravenous raccoons going after. They're like, oh no, there's another target, go get it. There's another target, go get it. And I mean, seeing them at the Katowice Royale, seeing them on this stage, it's just been incredible. And I know they were ones we called out to keep an eye on. So cementing their spot in New York, particularly in the first duo week, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, awesome stuff there as well. And I mean, I know that everyone wants to get into our matches that are going to be coming up in just a little bit, but let's take a look at the qualifying spots and who will be joining us in New York. So it's going to be covered Cover and MF Twiz from Oceania. In Asia, as we mentioned, it will be Bell and Scarlet. We have 4 spots in Europe, 1 in Brazil, 3 in NA East, and 1 in NA West for a total of 4 spots for North America. And that is all going to be determined today. And this is going to be a fun one. Really much looking forward to it. And I believe we should have our casters ready here. We got Courage and... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. What's...
Yeah, hey, no, just do what I said yesterday, dude. Ninja, listen. All you have to do is not play like Courage, and you'll be fine. He's trash. Yeah. Yeah, you dab. All right, have a good one, dude. All right, see you later.
Wow. That is... Hey, guys, how's it going?
Well, it was going good. I had orange juice and a banana for breakfast.
Yeah, I saw.
And now I'm here with Lupo again.
What's up, Jack? How's it going, bud?
Yeah, you could just see that Jack just doesn't even want to be near you. He's just like as far away as possible. Oh, okay. He's getting closer. He's going to establish his dominance and move as close as he possibly can. Well, that's my cue to exit the stage. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and send it over to you. Courage, Dr. Lupo, first duo that's going to be covering the Euro Games. Have fun.
Thank you so much. Yes, everybody, welcome back for the finale of the Week 2 Duos competition today. Great coverage there from 2 of our other fantastic regions. But now begins the action out there in Europe. I know our games are about to begin, so whenever the action's ready, we'll get right on into it. But Ben, for you, what we saw yesterday from the European region, anything you're looking out for to start today's matches?
More minigun. Give me more minigun.
Yeah.
I have not seen. Europe delivered something that we saw kind of when the minigun first was introduced, is extremely relevant. It faded off in other regions, but I've seen more European players embrace the minigun than I think I've ever seen in the past from any other region. It's been absolutely insane.
Minigun is quite deadly. Right into the action, though. Here we go. And Ben, I'm going to tell you something right now. You thought we had some stacked zones yesterday?
This is absolutely
60
ridiculous.
Players remaining here in the 5th zone. We're about to get to that first, kind of slightly moving zone. Look at how stacked this is. So many players, one wall away from each other. You have to be on your A game, making sure you take note of where every single person can be.
Now, all the games we watched yesterday, it was anybody that made it to the 300-point line or further in arena, solos or duos, didn't matter. They're kind of cumulative sum there. But today, this is the top 1,500 rated teams from yesterday. You could argue that yesterday's games were potentially, as far as scoring goes at some points, maybe even as easy as some public matches, depending on who you ran into and the position you're in. But these games today, Jack, everybody is top of the line skill. They all are as aware as anybody else. We watched Mag Venom and Everglide yesterday lay out a number of teams, and here we got the Boombo from the top all the way up above, beaming down on players from below mid-rotation. It looks like a couple solid hits here. The little jump pop of the Boombo is incredibly effective, as Andy finds out very quickly. Mag Venom and Everglide picking up their first elimination. 45 players left. Jack in the Circle is getting ready to close.
And remember, folks, this is not only the 4 spots in the line here for Europe to qualify for that finals in New York, but you have to remember, there's money on the line today, too. I mean, some of these guys, hey, you place high up there, you earn yourself some hard-earned money. $1 million across the regions. Who could come out on top today? Currently watching Mirage and his duo Nayu as they set up to begin to move towards these zones. 43 players remaining. Remember, at times today, Storm Surge might come into play as well with how stacked these lobbies are. The Storm Surge rule set, if you haven't done enough damage in the game, it basically forces action to develop on the map. As if you're below the damage threshold, you will begin to take damage across every, I believe it's 10 seconds.
2 Rift to goes here in Mirage's inventory, which means mobility is going to be pretty easy depending on the placement of the circle. It's far north side, waiting to bait that shot on Scout, and he pays the price. 4 elims from Mirage now, and they use the first of 2 Rifts. Picked up the purple pump action shotgun there. It was not carrying one before that. And look, actually in that little box they were in, it looked like they swapped a green pump for a legendary compact SMG. Just a little exchange of gear there. Looks like it paid off in this case. Both players now with a shotgun building all the way up top. You have Mag Venom, who we were watching moments ago, trying to compete for that high ground. Mirage slowly flying in, looking for anywhere to land. He's going to take the top here on top of a branch, claim those pyramids, and start building up a structure of his own, boxed in with his teammate. And they may actually already be in the safe zone. Yeah, you look in the bottom right corner of the screen, Jack, they're right on the edge of where this is potentially going to end.
Yep.
Now, 58 points was the qualifying line for today for EU. which means there are quite a few players that are going to end up pushing for the top of this. Just the feed there already going nuts. 28 remaining, Jack. Things change real quick as Mag Venom goes down. One of our players to watch yesterday. Looks like he's out of this match at this point. 17 duos remaining with 27 total. And a lot of players are vying for the top here. Vanex looking up above him moments ago, trying to watch for anybody flying in. The ramp there, Vanex's ramp blocks a bounce pad as someone was flying up and got knocked off of it. Mirage still way up to 6 eliminations. His duo partner, Nayu, still alive as well.
And now they just got to the top 15 too, Ben. So placement points have been earned, and it looks like Mirage is going to continue to try to push for more. The knock on the 1 gets the full elimination for the extra HP. A life-saving play, and another one right there. 8 eliminations for Mirage. The waterfall down. Not only is that 2 elims, they've got the high ground, and now they're top 10. A monster first game for this duo to kick off the European matches.
You've got to be feeling good after plays like this already. And here's the minigun. I literally asked for it, Jack, and here it comes.
It's right back.
Dervig beaming one player down. Nayu, the teammate of Mirage, who we were watching moments ago, picks up 2 eliminations. Zvaki has 3. That's 5 for him. And a top 10 already. Another good game for this duo. Rockets from above. The RPG, Jack, is extremely good late game, especially if you have a top-down view and as many rounds for that rocket launcher as he's got. 11 shots.
Oh my gosh, a vent
is game-changing. The vent is in the middle of the zone as it's moving.
All right, well, they're going to continue to kind of push on through it. Svaki all the way up top. Direvig just playing the high ground. Poison traps being dropped on down, making sure, hey, if you're going to land on top of me, you're going to take a bunch of damage right now. As this is a look from the top down of exactly where it all stacks up. By far the healthiest duo remaining in this game. Realistically, no one above 150 HP. And here comes the Rockets raining down from above. 1 or 2 players stuck in the zone.
Double miniguns. Jet, love to see it.
Jet's taking the high ground, though. Jet is taking the high ground. Can he wind up getting the engagement? No. Dervig turns. Pump shotgun to the dome. And this should be it here. A 2v1v1. 400 combined HP. Minigun. Rocket launcher. Ben, you wanted to see it. Here it is.
They're delivering and then some. There's the game. The Victory Royale. 9 eliminations plus the 10 points for the Victory Royale, Jack. A 19-point game to start your day. How do you feel after that?
You are screaming, I think. I think you're screaming, and you're realizing that, hey, that's our buffer for right now. You got to keep consistent, but right now, definitely one of the top placing teams on the European leaderboards. Hopping to our second game, we're going to cover 58 players remaining now as the storm begins to push. Loot Boy, Scram. 3 eliminations, the most right now in the lobby.
I just want to point out super quick, too, I didn't know that was how that game ended, just for everybody watching at home. I really just wanted to see more minigun. I can't believe they both were lasering with a minigun at the very end of that match. That's ridiculous.
Hey, Ben, you're a prophet.
You're up. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You can see the future. A beautiful knock right there from the Stinks. And wait, what?
He got both of them. The proximity, they were right on the edge, stuck in each of their own boxes, and he picks up 2 right there with a pair of stink grenades.
All right, well, there you see right there. You can't ask for much more, but back to the throwables, the stink grenades. When you get that knock, the Stinks make sure that there is no way that this player can wind up resurrecting their down teammate. And it's like peace of mind knowing, hey, it's not like normal where you have to kind of push out and the turbo builds. You know, you're having to fight a turbo build. No, you just throw a stink and no, there is no way that they can stick this resurrection right now. So you basically got yourself a guaranteed point.
Seas and Joy both beaming out their own windows. Gets a knock there, 59 meters. There is that zip line in the zone, so some of those players that were stuck on the opposite side, once the zone starts to push, if they want to play it real risky, they can use the zip and push out across, but that's probably not going to be the case. That elimination does go down. So he's picking up his first. That's 1 for this duo. 45 players, 27 duos left. They're pretty far out from placement points still. We're going to see a lot of matches today, Jack, that play out much longer with more players late game than we've seen from yesterday, because today's the day that counts even more. Not that yesterday wasn't a big one, but this is punching your ticket to New York City for the World Cup Grand Finals. This is an opportunity for, like you said, quite a bit of money, not only for placement here, but even just making it to the World Cup. That's a chunk of change in itself.
Oh, absolutely. And you can tell right now, Season Joy, I think they were questioning, should we go for it? Should we go for it? Now they do, and here comes the W key right on through that floor. Elimination on one. Did they find the other? Couldn't actually tell.
Powa is hiding up in another section. You see he's holding the edit, I believe, on the pyramid above him for just a moment there. Not going to be able to rotate out too quickly. Season Joy still down underneath. I believe only one baller between the two of them now. One of them was very broken. Looks like it got broken. Dark rolling through as you have a number of players hanging out in their own little structures right now. 39 players, 24 duos remaining.
Simo with one above, whiffs that first edit right there, was trying to see if he could potentially spot this one. Did get a launch pad. He tries to use it, but he gets blocked by the stairs. Some good damage on this player just in front. There's the knock, and I like this a lot. Instead of immediately thirsting, going to run forward, because now when this elimination winds up coming on through, he'll gain the HP back instead of taking more storm damage. Fortunately, still one player behind him, and he's not going to be a happy camper after that one, as there's still someone that was tack lost behind in the zone.
Down to 20 teams. This circle is going to start getting aggressive. If they get a movement over the volcano, it looks like they're okay right now with the direction that it's rotating, basically straight south, almost a little southeast. If we get one that moves over the volcano, you're going to have a lot of players get stuck moving up the edge of that, especially if we get closer to the top.
Yep.
Those steep inclines can be very difficult, especially if you're low on mats, especially if you're low on HP. The storm will be right there.
One player goes inside that box and meets their demise. 5 eliminations right now for this duo of Ketson and Snazy. Ketson placed the pyramid on themselves, popping that mini. I think they just shared some materials now, so continue to build on forward. Having to watch their back again. Late game Fortnite, in these moments of tunneling, snaking on through, it is one of the most insane scenarios in all competitive gaming. You need to be so alert that it's tough to explain what happens without actually playing it yourself, right, Ben? It's like if you've never competed in a moment like this and this intense of an end game, you actually can't comprehend how much you're having to keep track of at all times. The zone, the amount of players, who's nearby, who's your next threat, where the footsteps are coming from, because you're hearing 10 plus players at all times running, and you need to be able to understand where exactly those are coming from. You see the rocket coming on in, that will get an elimination down on the Cypher. That's Ice from Atlantis all the way up top, though.
That elim on Zypher actually moments ago was a shotgun shot to the window that Zypher had edited. Got caught off guard with his opponent's pump. Ice from Atlantis goes down on the outsides.
That
Snazy
edit,
and Ketson building their way up.
That edit right there from Snazy.
Oh my gosh.
Helps take the high ground. And just like that, we're into our top 10 players. 7 duos in total. Sharing materials up top again, making sure they can both comfortably waterfall down and have some materials left over. Heavy sniper brought out. You saw the mentality for a second from Snazy. Will they just W key into the box? It doesn't appear so as of yet. Ketson and Snazy on the high ground. Limbo and Adrian playing towards the mid ground. And another duo on the ultimate low.
The rift actually carries somebody all the way to the top. We might have an exchange there. As you mentioned before, those poison traps or even a spike trap down all the way up on the high ground. Kind of a defensive measure to block someone from pushing up the trap. Snazy's down to 10 HP, goes for it, gets a tag, but it's not enough yet. Gets Zirin's the storm tick. He's got to look out for it. Push through the wall, and it's not enough. He gets knocked by the storm. Ketson can't save him. He's solo, and Zirin's is knocked as well. Both players going to tick out. 5. About to be 4 players.
There's no way Ketson. Okay, I was going to say there's no way Ketson has a lot of materials left. They've been up there for so long.
3 builds, Jack.
3 total builds. Lurker, Adrian, Limbo, all fighting down low. Ketson dropping down. It's now a 1 versus 2. I think he just rocketed himself. He hit Adrian, but just rocketed himself right there, and just like that, it makes it a hell of a lot easier when your opponent takes 120 plus damage from their own RPG.
28 HP, not enough to establish a good push there at the end, but look at this build out here. Good golly, Jack.
Holy cow. Actually, Fortnite is a building game over a shooting game.
This is more building than I've ever done in the entire time. Entire time playing Fortnite.
I get asked all the time, Jack, how can I improve in Fortnite? How can I get better? Well, first off, by watching my stream. Second, by learning how to build well. Get into Playground, play your favorite music, put on an anime and a headband and get to work. Crank the 90s, and you just wait and see.
The faster you crank, the better your placement will potentially be. Tyler Supreme here, 2 eliminations, 53 players, 30 duos total remaining here.
We'll try to bait the edit.
There it is, an edit shot. And that looks like a sneeze on the keyboard for a name, but it does count for an elimination point.
Just trying to read it for a second.
There's no possible way that you can
physically impossible. As here comes the pressure now from Tyler's again, holding this pyramid. Now, if you're the player just above, there's so much going on, you might not even be able to notice that, Tyler's has already pre-edited that floor. You can see the people just above. It looks like now is the time they're going to want to go. The edit comes off through. 1 drops down to 2 full spray. Assault rifles right there. Floor quickly edited and reset. That's 1 elimination so far. They're already maxed the materials as they build on out, slide down the edge of this mountain. Someone's ballooning. Yeah, that's
the single balloon strat.
That's
there,
not
Jack.
Going to go well. Yeah, the single balloon strat, always something very, very popular in competitive Fortnite. 82 pump tag. Should be a finish. There it is. Max materials, though, nearly. Lupo. And a minigun.
Yes. You love to see it, Jack.
Yes, you do.
Tyler's ready to hold down that left click or R2, or maybe he's. By the way, I believe it's NA East. We do have a player that qualified on an iPad Pro. Not even a joke. So who knows? Maybe he's tapping to shoot that minigun there. Either way, that thing's intimidating, especially when you're trying to turbo build against it. A lot of bullets coming out. Ammunition there on your screen for just a second. Not too great technique. A player we saw on the right side of your screen there for just a moment. Also someone that we saw yesterday put on quite a show. A push in from outside in the storm, and he stayed alive from that. Was impressive.
We're up near the block right now. I'm trying to remember if it's still the castle. I think it's still the castle block. We will be going east of it, though, so it won't come into play too much.
Looks like you see on the left side of the screen. It is still the castle.
Love that. Uh-oh.
They better watch out down below. Keeping the door open. Not a good idea. Viper HG pays the price. A shot from above. Maybe picking up a second elim, but Zyman's teammate Vbucks gets knocked and eliminated. He is solo now with only 8 builds, no shield. The drop down goes for the SMG spray and gets Viper and his teammate on the rotation in. That's 2 elims right there.
Yep.
Technique building up above. Simon trying to stay ahead of the storm. No builds left, Jack. A green SMG might not be enough, and he tries to push in on technique. The pump shot not enough either, and he pays the price.
And look at how low these players are in HP, moving out of the zone. They've been taking so much storm damage. Glorley. Shots going down range. Quick edit on out, just knowing once I'm set and safe, it's time to farm whoever's still at the disadvantageous position. And Glorley gets beamed there for a moment. Now just trying to stay alive. I believe this isn't their actual view in the baller, just to be clear.
They're 12 miles out in the storm, but I believe they are still alive.
There we go.
16 players, 10 duos left, which means they all just got to kick up in placement points. Technique at the bottom of your screen goes down. Wonder, it looks like K, the very edge of the storm, all the way up top. Not sure if they are on the same team or not. Looks like shots are going out from both players as everyone's trying to make headway ahead of the storm here. 13 players, 8 duos. Protox and Risk. Risk already out, but Protox sitting pretty in a baller. Doesn't have to get out.
Nope.
He doesn't have to challenge this in any way.
Look, they have 0 limbs. I mean, that's been their mentality this whole time.
Here we go. Pressure as the baller is broken. He's going to build his way up. The door edit, maybe not what he was going for in that situation, but he does box himself in. He's looking out in front of him. 54 builds. Pretty sure his inventory is probably full. The blue pump, though, and that green heavy AR, both very important. The pump shotgun is so key for these close combat fights. The fact that you can one hit through a player that maybe pushes into your box just the right way, if your aim is on point, it can make the difference between making it out alive and being eliminated and going back to the lobby.
Look at how much health is remaining on all these players right now.
All the way up
Majority
top.
of them at near 200 HP, and then it's Wonder all the way up top, basically one shot to an assault rifle. Even just keeping their fingers crossed to get an elimination for that health on a limb.
The top right of your screen, Sewa picking up 2 there, 4 elims for that duo. Jabra's still alive as well. Both players still in it. The only full duo left. 7 players in 6 teams. Everybody else is solo, which means every other player has got to be playing as safe as possible. But in a storm like this, you've got a rotation occurring, a lot of branching already built. Players are going to be, they're going to have to knock through walls. You see in the bottom right corner, they're going to have to melee their way through structures, which means they can get caught off guard. The minigun, the top right, only 15 HP, but Sewa says it might be enough to pick up another elim. It's not, and he gets beamed from above.
Protox. That was such a 200 IQ play. Hides in the enemy's builds in the corner with a beautiful view of the entire zone. Basically played around the fact that they thought people would drop on down. That's exactly what happened. It was 2 quick eliminations. 4 teams left, 4 solos in total. Protox trying to break and claim the wall. There's the edit. A quick pump. The reset on the wall. Now continuing to move on through. Thankfully for Protox, this is all wooden build. So 2 quick swings will break down the structure. Boogie Bomb now picked up. More materials as well. Up to 109 builds.
Oh my God.
180 pump. Trap coming in. Going to continue to have to follow these, but they've got enough materials to continue to follow this all the way out. Oh no. Stuck in the builds. The edit's coming through. The shot comes in! He owned the floor! Protox ends the game with 4 eliminations and the victory royale.
Absolutely incredible. The awareness in that moment of knowing that you own that floor and
I didn't realize
just for the right time to hit the edit jack.
Yeah. I didn't realize it dropped down to just a 1v1 at the end there. I thought there was still a player all the way on the high ground, but nope. I was wrong. Back now to our next game, 55 players remaining.
I have a feeling that's not actually a 12-year-old kid, as I believe the minimum age requirement is 13, if I remember right.
Imagine we just see them get kicked from the server.
Dear Epic Games, let's can we get an 8? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
53 players, 29 duos.
Ranks looking for the quick edit. Rockets coming on in. They're getting some help from up above to try to push down for these eliminations. There's 1. And every time you see a rift to go in competitive Fortnite, or 2. Wait, was that? How many rifts?
3 rifts and a launch pad.
Rift to goes and a launch pad.
I think there was a med kit in there, which means 12 can pick that up and use it as well inside the baller. On top of that, they have quite a bit going for them. That set of elims there may have changed the game for them entirely.
Oh, it 100% did. Now, what's funny is that deep rotation is made a lot easier because a geyser's in play. Look at how many people are hitting this.
They're even flying back out into the storm quick just for a
and there's another geyser at the low side.
Oh my God. You're going to see a lot of players flying through the air right now. The problem is that if too many are up there
geysers.
And they're not engaging, players that have the high ground essentially in the structure that's already built will just start taking shots at them because they're basically indefensible. Pastero pushes his way down and catches that elim inside the box
with a gray tac shotgun. That's what that was.
It's an incredible weapon, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't deny its skill.
I love it in late game competitive time. As Pastero will go ahead and claim all these walls because this was an opposing team's box that they did take on down. We'll see where the zone goes. 47 players remaining. You can still see that geyser right in the middle of everything.
Getting lasered by what looked like 3 teams at the same time.
Yeah.
Everybody decided he needed to move out real quick.
We've had enough of this guy right here. Games only 75 HP and no shields in the inventory, so a much more passive type play, looking for any free limbs that could come into play. Top right of your screen, you see how these players can earn points. Remember, they'll have 3 hours or 10 total matches to be able to play. If you place top 15 in the duos in the game, you get 3 points. You place top 10, you get a total of 5 points. You place top 5 to second, you get a total of 7 points. You win the darn game, 10 points. Each elim, 1 point as well. So right now, this is still a 0-point game for the games in Simtech. Now with the potential for 1 right here. But again, a 0-point game, they've invested a lot of time to reach this point in this match. Now is when you need to clutch on up.
Now, we did see a number of players yesterday during the first round of qualifiers for today that waited until endgame. That strategy isn't necessarily a bad one. It's more of you're choosing specifically to avoid early game combat. Some of those engagements can be very fickle. You could get caught off guard and a third party happens very easily. typically you have a lot of players that will pick up, they'll focus on close quarters combat weaponry like a pump shotgun, a compact SMG, and sit on those and a lot of builds until the end game when this is the kind of action you see. And their whole goal is to wait for people to rotate and catch them off guard. And I guarantee you we're going to see a number of those kind of plays here in just a second. Vecero and Ike, a single elim between the two of them as they start to tunnel their way through the map. You see the storm, bottom right corner of your screen, pushing to the southwest. In fact, here we go. The W key monster faces his own enemy there. Vecero catches him off guard, the pump shot.
Break through these walls quick.
Metal's tough, 21 HP. Jack,
Thankfully, it was still building.
Open.
Thankfully, the metal was still building. There's the elimination, and yes, the siphon pops into place. So the health of the elim, now up to 71 HP. Following up more, he's getting shot in the back, down to just 14 health. It looks like this could be the end here for Vecero, unless something magnificent could happen. And there's a view. Look at all the way up top. Another rift just used now as well. What, 3-4 players still rocking inside those ballers? It's where, at this point, it almost becomes a detriment on these. Yeah, you saw one player hopped out, was like, no, I'm taking too much storm damage. I'm bouncing all around. It's time to rift. Chaka and elim not able to loot this player, so won't farm any of the materials off that body. Breaks through a box and a shotgun to the dome of Pero.
What a loadout pickup in there, too. I don't know if you saw everything that was on the ground. He avoided it entirely. There was a heavy sniper. There was an RPG. There was a legendary AR, all on the ground, and he had to move past it because the storm was too aggressive. It pushed him away from the loot pile. Potentially picked up all the mats, which is great, but in a situation like this, every little bit counts, Jack.
Ben, this might be a surprise to you, but Rankson, 12-year-old, who got three rifts and a launch pad, are the ones that have high ground right now.
Doesn't add. Honestly, if he's actually 12, it does not surprise me. His awareness has got to be insane at this point. Dealer's trying to push through metal structures as they're being built. And he catches up with Shark. Gets the one pump. The siphon heal there puts him back up. Another one. Nash goes down for just a second. Dealers was at 15 HP. Another one. Chaka goes down. Dealers barely staying alive. A 115 shield shot right outside the storm. And his run is over. But oh my gosh, Jack, the fact that he made it all the way to 8 players remaining is insane.
I thought he was dead 4 times over right there. 12-year-old still playing the high ground. You see Ranks now has dropped on down. So just going to keep holding this high ground for the moment. It's now a 2 versus 1. Naka all by themselves, having to run through the zone. Doesn't look like they have many builds left. And there it is, folks. 12-year-old and Ranks with the victory royale. 8 eliminations. And guess what? I'm not the smartest Fortnite player in the game, but when you get 3 rift to goes and a launch pad, you have a pretty darn good chance of winning.
Some could say it's like 3 plus 1 equals win. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what you're saying there, Jack.
Quick
math, exactly.
Quick math.
It literally is that, you know. But the thing is, I'm not really good at math, so I'm glad that Jack did that for me. Welcome everybody. That was crazy. Okay, for one, 12-year-old kid. We've seen 12-year-old kid a few times, by the way. I think I saw Lux Cup. I think was
definitely
what we saw.
been in some of the Lux Cup matches.
And I remember making that joke then as well, and we still haven't quite confirmed. Watch yourself. But as far as those games go, insanity across the board. And what I think is really like one of the best parts about competitive Fortnite to me is when a player just wants to dive into that 1-by-1 and just wants to go toe-to-toe. That CQC, close quarters action, close quarters combat. And Sundown, I know you had a few of those highlights you wanted to cover and then some. What do you have for me?
Yeah, so we're going to take a look, particularly you talk about it, Fortnite in the late game is a different dynamic because you're playing on basically inside different 1-by-1s or on different tarps as they're referred to. So generally you'll have a high level, a mid level, and then a low ground.
Yeah.
But this ends up resulting in a lot of pairs either working together or trying to catch people rotating while also remaining covered. So you can see here, Mirage does this really, really, really well with Neu. The entire time they're always, it's team fire going in and making sure they're finding the same targets, keeping themselves covered, and then when they do go aggressive, it's directly on top of each other. So able to pick up a huge down there, gets the siphon to stay in the match, and then is trying to find the player who has to rotate through that tarp because they have to build out. You know they're going to be on the edge of the circle, and this is just great. Using the edits to drop the player down, and then both of you going through, picking up difficult cockle effort. right there. You guys said it was impossible, but that's his actual name. I wrote it down here on the card. But then again, picking up the other player, utilizing that new infantry rifle at the close range, the high rate of fire and good base damage to pick up the elimination, and then they edit back down the resources to make sure they fall in and they get a rift to go, they get a big pot. Absolutely huge there. And then Glorly does it by himself here.
Oh, the angles.
It's so good, right?
The angles.
Like editing the top wall first to make sure he's only exposing a certain area, and then editing the bottom.
And you have to factor this in mind as well, Sundown. There's like a split moment that they have to come up with that decision, because you have to know, like, hey, my body's going to be over this wall. I need to make this play. Or it's below and I need to make the play.
And that's exactly what it's about. We talk about split decisions right here, and sometimes the player is just directly in front of you right there. Didn't even have a chance to react, and that's when the practice comes down, just all of your aim training, and then sometimes about decision making and knowing which walls you own. A great little 180 there, throwing it back out, putting a trap down to cover himself, and then just check out this cheeky edit play, Golden Boy.
Oh, because he knew that he owned it. He knew that he owned it. He was like, I'm prepared. You think you're safe. I'm going to pop up right there. And that player doesn't know, right? That player's just like, okay, I don't own this, but I need to like be aware. But the element of surprise plays into that individual's hand. And typically you wouldn't think that because you're outside of the storm, and a lot of players would panic at that moment. But to just be so calm in those final moments and just know that you got this. You have this shot covered. That was really, really cool. Some good moments there, without a doubt, bro. Thanks for breaking that down. I appreciate you. Wow. Great matches in the European region. This has been incredible. And honestly, Europe is such a competitive spot that it makes perfect sense that we're getting the caliber of games that we're getting. Remember, only 4 spots up for the European region, and we are going to find out who those players are going to be. For now, let's send it over to the key mathematicians of Courage and Dr. Lupo.
You know, incredibly talented gamers here we're watching, and some incredibly
talking about me for a second.
Talented casters are here casting it. That's us, man.
We're not actually
God, I hate myself.
Fortnite, yeah. I'm gonna go cry now. Imagine TC all the way up.
Happy Easter! Hold these eggs. That's what Madsen just said. Dropping them on down. And that's one of the first times we've actually seen the grenade launcher literally used. We've seen far more minigun plays than the grenade launcher in the last 2 days.
You actually commented on it yesterday specifically that it just hasn't. We haven't seen it emerge nearly as many times, but lo and behold, Jack, here we are today.
Yes.
6 elims for this duo, hanging out in the southeast corner of the map here, stuck on the side of a hill. 50 players total, 27 duos remaining, and shots from above, a little bit of pressure, and TC does get knocked. The stink, like we talked about it before, really, really good at zoning, but it might not be good enough in this moment. We'll see. Madsen might be able to drop down and pick TC up still, and I think he can here, walling off.
The goal, yeah.
Trying to take ownership of all these surfaces, and he does get the pickup.
Now, if you don't really play competitive and you thought people thirst a lot in public games, I'm going to tell you a quick little thing right now. In these custom lobbies, a downed player is like finding a treasure in real life. For me, that would be a double chicken burrito. I am doing everything in my power to get that in my hands and to secure that. That's exactly what we're seeing right here. There it is. The elimination comes in. And I think a lot of that was the help from the 2 players nearby in that box who stopped Toash from being able to be rezzed. Wait, Flint knock? Did you just see what just happened?
7,000
That was 3
IQ.
balloons, Flint knock, to try to fly up to the high ground and then potentially redeploy, but doesn't actually work. But you say 7,000 IQ as Madsen falls to their death, but Ben, to be able to make that happen, you need to, if they had redeploy, you need to carry a Flint knock, carry balloons, and carry redeploy. So at that point, what do you even have? Uh-oh, this is a scary duo right here, Ben.
Benji
NRG,
Savage.
Benji Fishy, and Mr. Savage M. I remember a famous quote, well, not famous quote. Typically we say that, you like quote Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
I was going to quote something I heard from Chap's stream.
Famous? Yeah, right.
Okay, sorry. No, I was watching Chap at one point, and I remember him mentioning how he was like grateful that he said, quote unquote, the 2 best players in the world can't actually wouldn't be able to participate in the Fortnite World Cup but that was before it was announced that 13 and up could. And he was referencing the duo at the time of Mr. Savage M and Mangral, who are both European-based. Well, guess what? They can now compete because of the updated rules, and they are scary players to watch.
If it was Chapstream, I'm sure he went and said something positive. Right after that, we see Benji and Mr. Savage pushing their way into the next section of the storm. Ballers knocking down every wall that they're trying to put up, and he catches the player off guard. Inside, the trap goes down. Multiple traps going down. The pickaxe knocked down on Nuck, and the elimination there. That's 5 now for them. 22 teams left. They're looking at placement as potentially the next source of points.
So Mr. Savage M was one of the first players that I really learned this from in regards to always being so in touch with how many materials you have. You will never see an overbuild in some of these walls. Look, the back's being completely covered. Also, he is one of the best players in the world at speed building out those tunnels like you just saw right there. How smooth this build is absolutely insane. You'll see exactly every move is calculated from this player. 170 HP now, 6 eliminations, 1 just came on in. Definitely wants to get more materials here soon. It looks like this will be the opportunity he's looking for. Shots, there it is. Can't loot though, but another point on the board.
8 elims total, 13 now. They're in placement point range. The Storm's still a little bit ahead. They don't have much in terms of rotation, but they still have materials like you wouldn't believe. Only on their brick, still sitting on most likely quite a bit of metal in the inventory. Up top here, catches Rojo off guard. The first elim for this duo. 12 teams left now. 6 minis, only 20 builds left. Starting to burn through quite a few materials, and at this point he's got to start looking for any opportunity to yoink someone on rotation. Speaking of the yoink, there it is. Johansson goes down and picks up the duo, both eliminations. A ton of mats in there, and he's going to duck back out super quick.
That was
up
huge.
to 100 builds.
Yep, that was actually huge to get right there. Now kind of overbuilding towards this next zone, just making sure they can live for as long as possible. Those 2 elims actually secured the top 10 placing for IFC. Now in the same box as a baller. Thankfully the baller just gets on out of there, which is typically the path it takes. IFC just hiding for the moment, no shields left. 200 damage pump shot to live to see another moment again in this one. Back up to 121 total builds, and the heavy sniper picked up as well. This is their wall. It's a free elimination right in front. There it is. Now up to 6 total limbs for this duo. Continuing to push through for this low ground. Thankfully, it's wood nearby. There's one player just behind. Oh, no, I thought they had this shot to come on in. It doesn't work out, though, in the end. Prago now stuck outside the zone. Does make it back in time, so won't fall to the storm damage yet.
Just on the edge. He's got 2 campfires in his inventory, an opportunity to top that HP off unless he can get a siphon elim here in just a second, and he might. Goes for the shot inside the box, gets caught with Mel on the inside, but does get that elim. He's got to tunnel his way out. The storm is ticking for so much right now, Jack. 4 players, 3 players, all solos. Limbo in a 1v1 with Heiko down below. It's Prago and Heiko. Prago's got the top down. Very little HP, Jack. He's just going to waterfall his way down. Doesn't want to drop too far.
Heiko's stuck in the zone. He slid all the way down.
He's still safe. The very edge. The bottom right corner of the screen, trying to take tap fire from underneath. Heiko looking to break every branch he can. Prago, the top down, Jack.
Prago's got to place these campfires.
6.
Beautifully placed.
Here we go.
Nicely done.
Heiko literally waiting, no builds. He has 7, look at the ammo, 7 medium rounds, 9 shotty shells, and 8 small. That's it. He's got nothing else. Prago just has to wait this out, and he could potentially get the win on a drop in with the pump shot. Here we go, Jack.
This is it. Prago the drop! Heiko with the win! Prago had a redeploy. So at that point, you try to redeploy down low.
He didn't want to take the fall damage.
And the thing was, is he had so little. So here's the quick breakdown from my end, right? Let's go to the mind of Jack Courage Dunlop right here as we hop into our next game. What we just saw right there in the 1 versus 1. The campfires were used. He had 30 HP, like could take only a couple ticks of the zone before he winds up dropping. You can't waterfall down at that point because of how tight the zone is. Literally waterfalling down, plus the fact that that player he would expect to spray up at you
100%.
would wind up either dropping you down to your death or you take too much storm damage. So the hand's kind of forced. I've got to drop in, hope to redeploy, have them whiff the shot, and then hit my one pump after. But in the end, it's just not possible to work on out Boyer and Kripa, the first players to watch in this game. What a dramatic ending to that last one, Lupo.
Absolutely insane. I almost expected at that point, you go for the redeploy and you're going to leave yourself exposed. In a situation like that, maybe just going full send and waiting till the very last moment to try and hit that pump shot, because the closer you are, the spread is tighter on your opponent's. If you're going for a headshot, you look for every chance you can to focus as much damage as possible. Waiting for that last second hit might have been the play, and if you miss it, then you're going to hit the ground, take the fall damage, and get eliminated anyway. It's kind of a toss-up.
Yep. You can make an argument on either side, sort of thing.
Exactly.
But Boyer now just continuing to peek on out through these edits. They are pre-set up in this zone. 2 Rift to goes, Slurp Juice, Heavy Sniper.
Oh
beams,
my gosh.
Beams, Mishmosh. And you got to think, they want to secure this drop that's about to fall on in. Now I'm surprised they're not building any pyramids, especially when they have, just one layer of floor below them. They haven't done it yet. Here's a look at
Majin, Provoke, Atlantis, and Fnatic here. Opening the wall. Finishing that player. The attempt here, the reason for the finish, Jack, they're not going to get a point for that, but if they're close enough like they are, you get all the mats, you get all the shield.
Yep.
You basically claim the entire pile of loot as your own, since whoever got the knockdown, they don't know necessarily at that point. They're not going to get it. The top center of your screen, 2 of the excellent players from Solary, Hunter and Kinstar. We've seen them in plenty of competitions in the past, and no surprise, here they are today qualifying for today's attempt to make it to New York City.
Yep, a French duo. Scary when they can kick it into gear. A beautifully placed Stink starts tagging both players. And what also that gives Kinstar is not only the damage, but the peace of mind of knowing exactly where those 2 are. It's almost like it's almost like you get like an outline of where they are at all times, because you see their movements. You can tell, oh, they drop down a layer. Oh, now that they're safe, we know they're not in this box. Chewed Up gets beamed right there. They're going to hit the launch pad. And what I like about that from Kinstar and Hunter is there's no hesitation. They don't try to continue beaming that box. They know that there's no way that player can be rezzed with the zone at their back, and now the elimination comes on in because the player's already taking 5+ tick damage of the storm, plus the damage that you get when you're knocked out on the ground. They're going to drop real quick.
Still see a handful of players and ballers rolling around in here. Somebody should close Discord.
As Boyer
landing just on the edge of the storm. Even though you may take the 10 damage to the storm, he's going to go ahead and pop one of the 2, by the way, slurps that he's sitting on. Edits the ceiling in. Scotty gets caught off guard in the elimination here. Another free 50 for the Siphon. That slurp is going to top him off here in a second. Grabs one of the 2 Rift to goes, and Boyer and Kripa still in this, the top-down view on the entire map.
And this is a brilliant time to pop this Rift to go, because look at how many players are remaining in this game. They're nearly at that top 15 for the placement points. You wind up taking that Rift to go, your odds of being shot down and elimed while this is happening on the low ground is much, much lower. So it's the lesser of 2 evils. You go up top, you float around, hope that really no one gives you the time of day to look up top, and instead everyone else just has absolute insanity break loose down low.
It's funny that Kripa and Boyer have landed now. Looks like they're not the top layer. Provoked, Majin have that top down on everyone.
Yep.
Ultimate high ground, but they're in a safe enough spot that they can just rotate in ahead of everybody. They don't have to worry too much.
Top 15.
Inkblad, Marwana with 3 eliminations between the 2 of them. Top 15, like you said, we have placement points coming out. The rocket from above doesn't take damage to it. Still at 150, but it was very, very close, Jack. Yep. Boxing is going to happen here. 105 builds. They're doing great on materials. Inkblad is honestly in one of the better spots from anybody we can see right now. The bottom section of your screen is very, very thick.
There's still so many players left in this one. Majin right now building on up, trying to match these Players that are nearby, a nice 119 tag. This inventory stacked on up, only 3 shotgun shells left. Might have to call for Provoked to drop some on the ground if possible. RPG now reloaded, and here comes the spray up top. They'll make sure they have cover from the low ground. And when you start to spray up top, it forces the players who are floating to try to glide on down quick. That's Boyer and Kripa, who use their second of the rifts. RPGs should begin to rain down low, but at the same time, you think Majin probably knows, hey, I've only got 3 of these left. I want to make sure if I'm going to shoot these, I've got a high chance of getting a limb. Right now, with vision of nobody, doesn't feel the need to shoot them quite yet.
It feels safe enough at this point. They're not really getting challenged on the high ground, so you're not seeing pyramids come out, but an opportunity to save some builds. The branch they're on is...
It's a little bit high up, and it's not held up by much.
I was going to say, Provoked notices that as well, starts to drop in. Marwana ticking out there, outside. Boyer gets eliminated. That duo was out. Still a pair from E11. Stompy and his teammate are still in there. Lazy's still alive. 8 players, 6 duos total, which means there's only 2 sets of 2. Majin and Provoked have the high ground on everybody, Jack. And the other duo, Low Ground Warriors, down there at the bottom. Every player that's in the middle, all 4 of them, they're all solos. And Incline pays the price, gets caught off guard there. 6 players left, Jack.
It's the 2 duos just like sandwiching everyone and eliminating them right now. But now, Atlantis and Fnatic wind up dropping on in. Provoked and Majin go for it. The RPG hits both. Hawkers by themselves, and there's just no way. Majin, 3 limbs in the final moment right there. It escalated so quickly, I wasn't even ready for it, Lupo. And that's because they had the high ground, and instead of kind of waiting and trying to force their way through the build, they dropped down into the zone in front of the build, catching their opponent basically completely off guard because they were realizing they were slowly just building ceilings and not building a complete box around them. In the end, it winds up spelling disaster for the E11 duo on the low ground, and Majin, known as one of the better players in Europe, comes out on top.
All right, well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for that. Great games in the European region. We have some more matches that are going to be coming up, but first, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, plenty more EU Fortnite action. See you soon.
Drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week we'll alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
I didn't start off the qualifier too great. It was like the late games where I think I won a game with 6 kills, and then my last game alone I went from 54 to 65, so every game matters. I'm just glad that I qualified the first week of solos, and I guess my practice paid off.
Yeah, I've never really been like, oh my god, what could this turn into? I kind of just like live it day by day, and I enjoy every single moment that I can. It's absolutely enjoyable. To come into like the World Cup, which is basically the most competitive event so far, you have everybody around the world, everybody's allowed to compete, and then to just come out of the gates and qualify for the first week is just absolutely amazing. Like,
it's a special sensation. I want to be the best player. I want to be better than all people and progress in myself. I need to play more aggressive and more play the high ground.
So far I'm the only Finnish person and it feels awesome. Like I can maybe give the best presentation for Finland. I don't know if they actually understand how big this is, but after the news, all of them have been like congratulating me, and it's a huge influx of like new support, and it's overwhelming.
I have a few close friends, and they're just blown away. What is this? This is what you've been doing, and thankfully they're very supportive. I think we have a really good roster. We picked up some really good players. I think I put out a good first impression.
There's just random moments throughout my day where I'm just like, oh my God, I actually qualified. Like, I'm going to the World Cup, I'm going to New York City. It's going to be so fun. I love it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Fortnite.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the first week for Duos qualifiers. Yesterday, these players played their hearts out. The top 1,500 teams made it to today, and we're going to see only a handful of these duos are going to qualify for the World Cup Grand Finals in New York City. A ton of money on the line, $30 million, the total prize pool, and even the players from today that do extremely well come away with a little bit of prize money of their own. Now, look, we're going to take a look here. We've been watching European matches, and some of these players have been playing out of their minds. Some things that I didn't even expect. The drop down at the end of the last match that Jack and I had an opportunity to cast. Majin provoked the rocket from the outside. Things that we didn't even expect in the moment. Jack expected them to hold the high ground, as did I, and they showed us why they got the victory royale that match. Now, to take us through the standings and take a look at a couple of the individual players themselves, we've got Sundown standing by. Sundown?
Thank you so much, Dr. Lupo. Yes, we are getting into it. Europe getting towards the back half now. They've been playing through their games, getting up there. Now, one duo I want to call out right now at the top, Vbucks and Nikov. Like, they have played 3 matches, 2 victory royales, 32 eliminations, 59 points. A little crazier than that stat is the fact that the other match, they got second place. So that's in only 3 of their matches. That's absolutely absurd. You also have Stompy, the #1 qualifier from the solos competition, up there with his partner Tashinkin, the E11 duo, and then Kedser and Trippern from Singularity rounding out the 3rd spot. 4th place right now, currently occupied by Energy's Benji, Fishy, and Mr. Savage. But you see that spread there. This is the barrier. Everybody needs to get up right now. 49 points is how tall you must be to ride that ride on over to New York City, Dr. Lupa. I mean, that's a tough barrier because we're only 3 or 4 games in for a lot of these guys.
Now, you mentioned Vbucks and Nikov. Their counterparts on Solary as well have been playing extremely well, Hunter and Kinstar. I've had the opportunity, at least I had the opportunity last week to watch them the entire team from Solary is incredibly impressive. They are training like you would not believe, and I think that shows, especially when you look at the leaderboard, Sundown. There's a reason they're on top. 59 points, 32 eliminations, 2 of the 3 victory royales, and like you said, 2nd place for the last one. Now down there, 7th place, Mitro and Mongrel, another. The names on this list are absolutely insane, and I have to say, the dedication from a number of these players to make it this far already, they've been scrimming every single day. They've been playing out of their minds constantly. It's always an opportunity to play as well as possible, because it all comes down to this. Now, we have more matches queued up real soon, and to bring the action with us, give us the play-by-play, we have 2 legends of Fortnite casting, Zeke and Golden Boy. You're sneaking. No, you're not sneaking. Everyone can see you.
No, man, that's the Scott Hall from back in the day,
I was sneaking.
NWO, like.
Golden Boy is old. Realize that. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you so much, Senior Citizen Lupo. All right. I love you so much. It's time now to get into the game's tail end of Europe. Just like how you give me this judgmental look. I really do appreciate that. You got your boy GB and Zeke here ready to call the action. And we are jumping into this matchup with Fixie, who has 4 eliminations, most of the lobby thus far. But we're not going to him first. We're actually going to Kiddo and Boons. And Kiddo actually just picked off Fixie to start this off. So the Elim leader of the lobby says bye-bye. And that is going to go to Kiddo. Not bad with the boom bow there.
With the old boom bow. Keep in mind, Boons is gone, his dual partner, so he's kind of in a tougher situation. I'm going to fight a okay.
Hey.
And it's okay. Just
okay, try
like
again. There you go. Nicely done there. The boom bow connects and gets the cleanup on aisle 2 against Arnatron. Good job with the boom bow. It is such a powerful weapon. And we've seen some crazy plays with the boom bow, Zeke. Last week, I think someone picked up a triple with the boom bow, and Kiddo tried to get out of there with the launch pad, but was not able to utilize it. 2 players going to be right in front of him, and that's Adam. And Adam goes down, finds another one, an anonymous Cloud will fall victim to Kiddo. Once again, Kiddo impresses.
Man, another few eliminations picked up, but keep in mind, with all this noise he's making, everyone's like, look, we can tell you're by yourself. We'd like this free elimination. That's why you see a bunch of tracers coming in. He is ripped all the way into critical. But now we got to see what's going on over here with Num. His dual partner, Brutal Acousto, is gone, but Num's by himself sitting on 4 eliminations.
Yeah, 4 elims, doesn't want to draw too much attention in their direction. So far, though, with that 4 eliminations, 4 points, you're really just trying to hold out as long as you can possibly get to for that top 15. And then you start to get some placement points. We know how much the eliminations are and how valuable they are, but those placement points equally as valuable.
Yeah, we'll definitely see the game slow down quite a bit, because as you talked about, top 15 being that first threshold for points, a lot of these people, they want those points. They're so vital to their game, helping them move up the standings. So we're going to see a lot of people slow things down, make sure that every move they make
Kiddo!
He might be okay. It's okay. Watch the bottom left.
I saw Kiddo in the corner there. I just have to watch the bottom left and keep track on the elimination feed. But this is a the rotation now is going to start to come out for Num, who's going to try and just place himself at the edge of this circle. There's going to be a player right in front of him as well, and just one by ones right away. That other player has literally the same idea. There's a fight going on, player up above him. Num knows this, but Num once again just continuing to play this very methodical approach. He wants to catch players off rotation, and